Hey, my roommates are doing it again. What's up, it's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. And today I'm going to be doing a movie review of a lesser known movie that got released this year theatrically in North America. And this film is called The Beast, or in French, Le Bête. Um, did I mispronounce that? I don't know. I'm sorry. And it is a film written and directed by Bertrand Bonello. So I knew nothing about this director going into this film. I usually know a lot about the director whenever I go into a film. And I usually know a lot about the plot and, the circumstances surrounding the production of the film before I go into a film. But this time around, I went in pretty much completely blind. Even after watching the trailer, I still didn't really know what the film is about. I was recommended to watch this film by a friend. So let's rewind time a little bit back to early April when I met a cinephile by the name of Matt from Singapore. And a little bit later, we met up again and we talked, and he told me to watch The Beast. And The Beast being his favorite film of the year so far, and he gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. And he asked me if because I told him I really like David Lynch, and I really love very crazy mindfuck movies. So he's like, "You gotta watch The Beast. You gotta watch it." So yesterday, out of a last minute decision, I decided to go to Beverly Hills, go to the Lumiere Music Hall, and watch The Beast. And this is like the last screening this film will ever have in LA. And I was like, ooh, what if I miss it? And what if it never gets on streaming or whatever? What if it's like a hidden gem? So I took an Uber, almost $30, and then I spent 10 more dollars to watch this movie. That's a lot of money. Oh my god. And is it worth it? Kinda. So, The Beast. The Beast, The Beast, The Beast. What is this movie? This movie is a genre bending, multi timeline, kind of multiverse, not really romance horror story. That is also kind of a sci fi at the same time. Essentially, this is about Lea Seydoux, who plays the main character of Gabrielle, and Gabrielle, and also the counterpart, Louis or Louis, played by George McKay, who you may know from 1917. Actually, originally his role is supposed to go to somebody else, but that somebody else unfortunately passed away. So, anyways, this is a interdimensional romance between these two characters. And this film mainly takes place in three timelines. One is in the early 20th century, the second is in present day, presumably 2022 or 2023 or somewhere around that time, and then one in 2044 in the future. And yeah, so in a lot of ways, we can already make benchmarks of what this film is trying to be like, whether it be Wong Kar-wai's 2046 or Charlie Kaufman's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Millennium Actress or even Cloud Atlas. And usually I love those films. I really love maximalist films that explore personal relationships and consistent themes throughout different timelines and universe. Those kinds of movies always blow me away. I mean, just think about Everything Everywhere All at Once. But unfortunately, I think The Beast sits somewhere between the very emotional and forward thinking Everything Everywhere All at Once and the ever so dark and puzzling, similarly maximalist Twin Peaks The Return. And The Beast awkwardly sits somewhere in between the two. It's not super hopeful and forward thinking, nor is it like a dark journey into the deepest corners of like the world or something. So, unfortunately, I think The Beast is nowhere near as expansive as I would have hoped. Now, a good chunk of the first half of the film takes place in the early 20th century, in the 10s or 1920s or something, and it's a period drama. It's a costume drama, and unfortunately, that part felt very long and redundant to me. A lot of the dialogue felt like philosophical ramblings without reaching any sort of conclusion. Also, there isn't really that many smart moments. I feel like if you give the same idea to, I don't know, Charlie Kaufman, well, he's one of the greatest writers of all times, but if you give this story idea to a more skilled writer, the story could have been way smarter, way more clever, and even the scene transitions would have been way crazier, given that we're dealing with a multiverse thing here. Yeah, and also I was really sleepy yesterday, so I almost fell asleep during that part. Now we have the present day part, which is more the second half of this film. By the way, this film is 2.5 hours long. So the second half of this film focuses more on the present day, and it's much, much more interesting because George McKay is an American character here, and he plays an incel YouTuber, a 30-year-old dude who has never had a girlfriend, never held hands, never had sex, and all the girls don't want him. But he becomes sort of an incel and wants to kill Lea Seydoux' character, who is a model in LA. She's a French girl who went to LA to try to look for jobs. And for some reason, there's a lot of cheesy dialogues in this part, and this part only. I don't know if it's because Bertrand Bonello is better at writing French dialogue than American dialogue, but a lot of dialogue in the present day section feel cheesy and unnatural, and maybe so much so that it's intentional. Because again, with George McKay's incel character, but also the things people say in general, we have this clairvoyant slash fortune teller character who shows up in all three of the timelines, but she's so cheesy in the present day timeline. And I say timeline because these three sort of universes sort of contradict each other. It's not like it's happening in the same timeline. Anyways, I digress. It's so cheesy, and the way present day presents the internet is almost comical. Like again, the fortune teller is this creepy woman with a very blurry webcam, and it's over Zoom, and then you get all these ads, comically satirical porn ads, so ugly you'd think it's from the early 2010s or something. At some point, Lea Seydoux' laptop gets like hacked or like has a virus or something, and there's like a gif of a cartoon Donald Trump dancing and what it seems to be Harmony Korine's trash humpers. It's it's a very cartoony way of looking at the internet. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but whatever it is, it's kind of freaking funny. And then the futuristic sci-fi parts are in 4:3 aspect ratio, and they feel pretty bland and inconclusive. It's very interesting to see a futuristic Paris, where everything's kind of brutalist and pastel. But it just feels pretty inconclusive. I do really like the ending of the film, though. It feels like a scene out of Twin Peaks. It's very liminal. I mean, Lea Seydoux' scream literally echoes the scream of Laura Palmer. And I also really love how puzzling this film is. This film has raised a lot of questions, and it never bothers to answer any of them. And I always really love these kind of movies, even though a mainstream moviegoer would see this and go, okay, this shit is pretentious. But what I don't like is that I can almost figure out what the point of the film is. If I can't figure it out, it's entertaining. If I can, it makes the film less intriguing for me. So again, there are repeating, reoccurring characters. The clairvoyant character, the fortune teller. She shows up in the beginning, and it's a face-to-face scene. Then in the present day, it's a video call over Zoom, and then in the future, it's overtaken by AI. We also have dolls. Dolls were really lifeless in the early 20th century. They start moving in the present day, and once again, they're overtaken by AI in the future. It seems that this film has a lot to say about artificial intelligence. But overall, I think conceptually, This film is fantastic. It's a genre-bending romance, part comedy, part horror. There are some legitimately thrilling and scary moments in this film with really good sound design and really good sense of atmosphere. But it's just that the execution could have been better. I feel like if you give this script or give this idea to another writer, a more skilled writer, this could have been one of the craziest films to ever be released, ever. But unfortunately, it just falls a bit short because of that. So yeah, I'm giving this movie, The Beast, a light 8 out of 10. It is incredibly intriguing of a film, but it just could have been better. So have you watched The Beast by Bertrand Bonello? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.